Thank you very much. Bomme Libondade, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the National University of Lesotho. Today's event is a pomp event. It's an event that showcases what the university is all about. It's an event that gives us pride as the university. It's an event that gives us pride as the Basotho nation. We have guests amongst us because it is not only the university that is excited about what is happening here. We have amongst us the Honorable Minister of Communications, Ndade Morena Tisile Masribana Kawamelanda. We are grateful you're here. We are getting used to you being here. We are designing a special program to which you will register. You will get tuition waiver. The Vice Chancellor, you must be excited, sir. I know in 1 month, when you have a minister coming and coming and coming, it means a lovely relationship is developing. We are happy for you and for the university. The minister's entourage is here, led by the Deputy PS, whom you may want to see. May Deputy PS show your face so that they can see you. Memana Lady, Kafudi. We have the Director of Information, Dadera Mafhula. Please show your face, sir. We have the Science and Technology Rep, Ms. Tato Budila. Where are you? We have the Private Secretary to the Honorable Minister. Where are you, Mr. I had to ask when I was given this list, Private Secretary, what level is this? And I was told that is director level. I now understand it's a long time since I was in government. The Vice Chancellor's team is made up of officers of the university, including the Pro-Vice Chancellor acting, Meg Anjume. Show your face, Meg, so they see you. We have the Beza of the university. Beza. We have the university librarian. And I should mention I'm also an officer of the university as the registrar. The senior management team of the university that is here is made up of deans and directors. Deans, just wave so that they can see you are really here. Deans of faculties, in particular the Faculty of Science and Technology. We have researchers here. Dr. Leratos Litenkos, show your face. We should see who we are here about. Dr. Maduna Salting, yes. Professor George, I'm told he went haywire. Is he here? But he's amongst the researchers. Mr. Clockwan, is it? And Mr. Bellem. Those are the researchers we are here about. There are members from the faculties and administrative departments of the university who are also here. I recognize you and observe you. But most importantly, when you say you are hosting a press conference, it is really about the media houses. Media house representatives, please just wave. Let's see who we... So that when we see a media person looking at you, you should know they want an interview. So you get ready and fix your tie and get... Our program is very short. That day, Vice Chancellor, Professor, please come and welcome your guests, sir.
Madam Registrar and Director of Program, the Honorable Minister of Communications, Science and Technology, I join the Registrar in saying that you are a frequenter of the university. And remember the other time I suggested that we should consider devising a doctoral degree for you. I'm still there. Members of the minister's entourage, dear colleagues, university officers and members of the senior management team, members of the Fourth Estate, the media, dear ladies and gentlemen. Why Fourth Estate? Executive, legislature, the judiciary, and the media. Madam Registrar, Honorable Minister, my task this morning is an easy one. Simply to say, welcome to the university. Things being normal, I shouldn't be saying more than that. But because this is an important occasion, kindly permit me to say 2 sentences. Honorable Minister, as the National University of Lesotho, we are part of national and international research studies to rapidly develop new treatments, to build and share our knowledge of coronavirus. The COVID-19 pandemic has propelled the research and higher institution sectors to the forefront of public attention. Laboratory capacity has been crucial for diagnostic testing. Experts in laboratories in infectious diseases, epidemiology, public health, mathematical modeling, and economics are central to national policy. They are essential to national policy making and also to media coverage. Clinical research has been vital to improving COVID-19 management. And our collaborative global future relies heavily on the development of an effective remedy and vaccine against the severe acute respiratory syndrome, coronavirus. Honorable Minister, it is important, as they say, and as you will soon become aware, that the Faculty of Science and Technology at any university performs a crucial part of the university's life. In the same manner, the Faculty of Science and Technology at the National University of Lesotho is also an important part of the university's configuration. And as the Faculty of Science and Technology, the university is leading a clinical research trial investigating potential treatments. The coronavirus crisis has changed higher education institutions in many new and unexpected ways. As universities have to take radical measures and make major efforts to slow the contagion caused by the pandemic and to better understand the virus, this brings both challenges and opportunities to universities, in particular in relation to higher education institutions. Honorable Minister, it is therefore important for any university today, because indeed, as they say, every cloud has a silver lining, that the advent of the COVID-19 has made it possible for universities and governments to come closer, much more closer than before. Because indeed, in our experience, governments tended to drift away from intellectual institutions. The reason being that most of the time, the expectation is that you meet a minister, the higher institution will be talking the need for subvention in closely with the government of Lesotho in this difficult moment. Indeed, the crisis precipitated by COVID-19 has opened a window of opportunity for universities to engage, even with society, support governments through research and innovation, and to help prepare a more resilient society. It is within the above context, Honorable Minister, that I welcome you and your entourage at the National University of Lesotho, as well as the media. We welcome you as the country's Minister of Communications, Science and Technology on this important occasion, because we are expecting to get important news through the Honorable Minister today. I thank you very much, and you're welcome to the university.
Thank you very much, Vice Chancellor. Prof. Tamai is the Dean of the Faculty of Science and Technology. He is the head of that school. When we begin to call them schools, that's what he will be. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Registrar. I'd like to take this opportunity to first acknowledge the presence of the Honorable Minister of Science and Technology and our Vice Chancellor, Professor Mosito. And allow me to borrow all the greetings made and say protocol observed. Ladies and gentlemen, it is indeed exciting today to be talking to you about a progressive project of potential national and international significance by some of our hardworking scientists in the Faculty of Science and Technology and the Faculty of Health Sciences here at NUL. As part of the National University of Lesotho Strategic Plan 2015 to 2020, our Faculty of Science and Technology was tasked with, among others, spearheading the NUL Innovation Hub, where we were supposed to incubate a number of innovative research ideas and projects from the labs into potential services and products that can be commercialized. This critical strategic move was aimed at elevating the National University of Lesotho from what we now call a traditional University 3.0 status. That means a university that typically does teaching, research, and community service, to a more advanced and entrepreneurial University 5.0 status. This one still does teaching, research, and community service, but goes a little bit further and indulges in innovation and commercialization. Hence, we took this as an opportunity availed to us as scientists through the creation of the NUL Innovation Hub by the Office of the Vice Chancellor to play a leading role in making our own products by exploiting the works that our staff and students do in the laboratories, so that we can see we can create local industries and sort of try to tackle the high rate of youth and graduate unemployment. Our able scientists enthusiastically took up that challenge, and I'm happy to report to you today that the NUL Innovation Hub is currently hosting in excess of 30 startup or spin-off companies. And several of their products are already hitting the market. I'm sure a lot of you have already heard about Sevavazo yogurt, Bohlale biscuits, Mahaladito soap, and so on and so forth. And about 8 of the spin-off companies are now mature enough and are ready to graduate from the Innovation Hub into medium-scale businesses that can go into mass production. But of much interest today is that since the start of the coronavirus or the COVID-19 pandemic early this year, a team of scientists boasting a wealth of combined skills and experience have been actively working at the NUL Innovation Hub towards developing herbal mixtures as potential drugs for COVID-19 treatment. And I would like to introduce the team to you. The team is led by Dr. Lerato Seletenkose. I would like her to stand a little bit. Dr. Lerato Seletenkose is an NUL graduate. She did her Bachelor of Science in Biology and Chemistry here at NUL, and went further to do BSc Honours and MSc in Botany at the University of Stellenbosch. And then she also did PhD in botany at the University of Johannesburg in South Africa. So botany is a field where you study plants mainly. Her research focuses specifically on medicinal plants traditionally used in Lesotho for treating various diseases. And she works with a couple of other colleagues. We have Dr. Diteboho Madona. Will you stand up for a bit? Dr. Diteboho Madona is also our graduate from NUL. He also did a Bachelor of Science in Biology and Chemistry. He went further to do Master of Science in Medical Microbiology at the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine. And he also has a PhD in Medical Microbiology from the University of Pretoria. He specializes in clinical microbiology and infectious diseases with specific focus on sexually transmitted infections and HIV. He has also studied HIV. We also have Professor Mosotho George, who is not here today due to some personal commitments. He's also a graduate of NUL with a BSc in Biology and Chemistry. He also holds an MSc and PhD in Analytical Chemistry from the University of Johannesburg. He specializes in sample preparation and analysis, and he has worked in the area of plant pathology, which forms the basis for synthesis of medicinal compounds. We also have Ndate Oriel Hlokwane. Ndate Hlokwane, can you stand a bit? Mr. Hlokwane holds a Bachelor of Science in Pharmacy from NUL, and he also has an MSc in Medicinal Chemistry from Yokohama City University in Japan. He's a trained pharmacist and specializes in research that tries to develop new antibiotic medicines using medicinal plants of Lesotho. We also have Ndate Beleme Mutiki. Ndate Beleme, can you stand up? Ndate Beleme also has a BSc in Chemical Technology from NUL, and he's currently pursuing an MBA with Buto University. He's highly disciplined in the field of indigenous herbs and has worked with herbal mixtures aimed at treating respiratory ailments. That's why he got interested also in trying to tackle COVID-19. This is the formidable team from Melbourne that has worked on what we are going to hear today. And they did their own preliminary scientific investigations here at NUL, both in the nature of the virus itself and the potential remedies that could be used or developed to treat it. And based on their findings, this team of scientists developed potential drug compounds aimed at fighting the pandemic. And they used various chemical extracts, carefully documented them and combined them and tested them. In July this year, the potential drug compounds were tested for toxicity. We also call it safety assessment. They wanted to see whether it's safe to humans at the pharmacy department here at NUL, and the results indicated that the compounds were non-toxic, so they were safe to use with humans. This was widely shared on media, especially on the NUL Research and Innovations Facebook page, and it immediately caught the attention of the Honorable Minister of Science and Technology, who, without wasting any time, rendered his support to the project. No wonder he's here with us today, and we are happy for that. And to you, the Honorable Minister of Science and Technology, on behalf of the Faculty of Science and Technology, which is becoming your second home, we really appreciate the unwavering support that you and your ministry have rendered to us so far and to the NUL Innovation Hub, and continue to provide up to today. And to everybody present today or who will get this information later, the NUL Innovation Hub, the Faculty of Science and Technology, and its sister faculties, the National University as a whole, simply need more of the nation's support in order for it to be able to undertake research projects of this likely national or even global significance. There is a huge amount of scientific skills and formidable potential in our midst. NUL is host to the highest concentration of some of the well-trained and best brains that Lesotho has ever produced, which, given the right and adequate resources, especially in terms of research funding, can achieve more of what you are going to hear and witness today. I'm aware different ministries in government are already working on next year's financial budget, and we are making an appeal. Even sparing just 2 million per annum for a research fund, which will translate to just 0.01% of the 20 billion national budget, will be a really good start. That's our sincere appeal. And in conclusion, I just want to highlight that after our scientists did their preliminary tests here at NUL, the potential drug compounds were taken to CSIR in Pretoria, who have more advanced equipment for further tests against coronaviruses, through the assistance again of the Minister and the Minister of Communication, Science and Technology. And we are very happy to leave the exciting results of those advanced tests to the Honorable Minister to share with you. Thank you very much.
We will now have a keynote address as prepared by the Honorable Minister. If it was in government, I would call the PS or DPS to introduce him. But this is a university. I said that to the DPS and she didn't quite like it. But I whispered to the Honorable Minister that when I said this to the DPS, she wasn't quite comfortable. Do you want me to call the DPS to introduce you? He said, no, just call me. So, Honorable Minister, I will call you and introduce you as a passionate communicator and educator, because that's what we see you as. For you, Ndade, to present your keynote address to the university and the media as prepared.
I was worried that I'm going to deliver this keynote address without sharing a smile with you, at least. Thank you, Mr. Your Majesty, the Right Honorable the Prime Minister, the Vice Chancellor, and your colleagues, let me just go straight to the issues that I need to table in front of this press conference. But before I do that, it is my first time to deliver a speech of this nature in front of this high-level technical staff. So Ndade, I need to thank God first, because if it was not because of we live under His mercy, I won't be delivering such a speech in my whole life. As you know, that during the command center, there were issues that the nation was not happy, and there were issues that the nation didn't know what was transpiring inside the command center. But at least we managed to have an audience with the National University of Lesotho. That indeed, I would like to note that the whole background as we go forward, that one needs to recognize those days. Because if we leave that, they all know where it came from. There is a background that this transpired during the command center. Still NACOSEC, still command center on COVID-19. That Musito, following the results of the preliminary test conducted at National University of Lesotho, the potential drug compound was taken to Council for Scientific and Industrial Research in Pretoria, CSIR, South Africa, for further testing against coronaviruses, with the assistance of the Ministry of Communication, Science and Technology on the 29th July 2020. Members of the media, I want you to know that on the 29th July 2020, before the results went, you were busy in your faculty with your researchers, and they even brought me here during the night to collect and to find out what was taking place. I had hope that the samples has to be delivered. I myself, Ndate Musito, delivered the results. And the samples, I myself. It was not easy during those times. It was a risk. I didn't want anybody to risk. I risked my own life. No, it's fine. I delivered the samples. And when I came back, COVID-19 was within this body because of the results. I had to go and stay in Manmorosi, isolated for 3 weeks because of these samples. So you owe me. The initiative was also supported by the South African Department of Science and Innovation under the auspices of the Joint Bilateral Agreement. The potential drug compound was tested against 2 strains of coronavirus, SARS-CoV-2 and MERS-CoV. The results of the test were received by the Office of Minister of Communication, Science and Technology on the 12th November 2020 from CSIR. Take July up until November. You may ask us, I don't work at CSIR, why is the difference between July and now November? They revealed that the potential drug compound is active or effective against the 2 coronaviruses tested, SARS-CoV-2 and MERS-CoV. I want to be very honest to you that, okay, I'll do that when I get to the next But I want to be very honest. When I received these results, I spent the whole weekend trying to understand the language and to understand, is it true? Yes, it was true on paper. Is it true that Lesotho is part of those countries that are working so hard to fight COVID-19? Is it true? I was not taking any calls. That paper, I used to have it in my bedroom, not on a private room. My bedroom has a private room, but in my bedroom. But I was reading this paper. Is it true? In addition, the results indicated that the mixture can actually fight the virus infection. It is safe to animal cells and it can be a good drug candidate against the COVID-19. So this part that I'm going to read was the part that I lost my appetite. I was just looking at this part because it was easy to understand. Therefore, the latter gives an indication of the agent potential as a future drug for the coronavirus. Now, Ndadem Sit, it was very easy for me to understand this last sentence. But something came up in my mind to say, how do I approach the world? How do I approach the cabinet of Lesotho? How do I approach National University of Lesotho, especially the researchers, science and technology, or the innovation hub? It was, again, easy for me to make an appointment with you and to come and introduce these results. I want to say thank you for that. It was easy. There is a way forward that has been proposed. It is a pre-clinical and clinical trials should be undertaken for further evaluate the activity of the drug compound for use in humans. If the trials yield positive results, the drug will be introduced into the market for treatment of COVID-19 through the National Innovation Hub Business Support Program. 100%. Now, I think your pledge in that deadline was just 2 million. It's small. I therefore, before I conclude, I called the administration of Minister of Communication, Science and Technology, and we developed a cabinet information paper. Then we requested that the cabinet should form a working cabinet committee so that we'll be able to get even 20 million. Minister of Justice, Minister of Education, Minister of Finance, Tourism and Development Planning. The cabinet gave me that subcommittee. So all our technical people, everybody, the PSs, everybody from those ministries will sit down and come and say, how do we protect these results? Or there is Minister of Defense for matters of security. Yes, the National Security Services needs to be there. Because we know what is taking place around the world. we understand that a least developed country has jumped not only to the 4th industrialization, but to the 8th industrialization. I would like also to register my sincere gratitude to the researchers of the National University of Lesotho, to my colleagues that we used to work together hand in hand in this project. Austato, stand up. She worked very hard. I was pushing her during those times that I was the chairperson of the command center, and it was so boring when you don't see science people during those times. She's the one that said, Ndati, I'm going to Roma, and she brought the scientists inside the command center. So, thank you very much. Lastly, that Mosito, we have just had the JVCC, and the ministry that I'm leading on the science and technology side, I met with my counterpart during JVCC, and we have agreed to develop an action plan so that we are able to go forward with the clinical trials. We again have some partners, the Lesotho development partners. India, we have touched with India. They are ready to support the program of going forward. We will again talk to the Americans. You know that the president in 1976, he was here in Lesotho, not as a president, but as a technical person. And he met the former Prime Minister of Lesotho during those early days, Popompo. So, we'll use that opportunity. But we've got a professor by the name of Professor Ramesh, who is developing sickle medicine for sickle cells, something like that. He's willing to support the National University with the equipment and with the knowledge, and to advise them how to patent this in the UN. Let us agree, members of the media, that we don't mislead the nation. We don't mislead, we don't sell our paper or our radio stations or whoever, but we tell the world the truth. That it is a potential drug compound, is not yet a treatment for COVID-19 until it has been approved as such. Please, media wise, Hagadulele National University of Lesotho, Lelekala, on that statement that I've just delivered. I know the social media, Yana Hyena is a problem for even myself as a person, even for my family, even for them, it's a problem. I'm still dealing with that the Vice Chancellor, of trying to find my cybersecurity bill certificate so that I can be able to manage the social media, to have everybody responsible. So I'm making an honest plea. This is the statement that I've been advised to announce today by Ntate Mona and his researchers. So now, push up policy, I'm going to go forward again to invite you, Ntate, to say we are going to have a Lesotho National Innovation Day, which is around May next year. We are going to have district innovation days where we'll be collecting innovators. We also like to invite you to join our advisory team with your people so that we know exactly that we're doing the right thing. Secondly, yes, we need a scientific budget because now we are dealing with scientific issues to that level. Ka bokgutshwanyane bohle, Basotho ba heso, re fumane sephetho sena se bontshang hore tseo re di tshwereng ho tswa ho ditlamatlama tse bueng ka hara naha Lesotho ke sekolo se phahameng sa thuto ya setjhaba e leng Lesotho National University of Lesotho ka botsebi ba lefapha le sebetsanang le ho bona hore na ba ka etsa diphuputso difeng tsa botebo bo bokae. Re fumantswe di-reporte go latela tlhatlhobo e ne e tswa mane Gauteng hobane ha re so be le setsi se jwalo ka hara naha. Mme tlaleho eno e bontsha hore re ka tseba ho fetela mothating wa bobedi wa hore re ka tseba hore re etse setlhare se ka phekolang lefu lena le sa phekoleng la COVID-19. Mme re ipiletsa ho setjhaba hore se utlwisise methati. Mothati go tlo kena ho ona ke mothati wa hore jwale re kototse ka matla re le mmuso ho tshehetsa sekolo se phahameng hore ditlhatlhobo jwale di letswa bathong kapo diphoofolong hodima sena se fumanweng. Ke hona re tla phatlalatsa ho jwale di nepahetse di phekola lefu lena. Empa re tlaletse hore sephetho sena sa rona se ka tseba hore e be setlhare ha o fetile methati eno e mmedi e meraro. Mme tsohle di tla etsuwa ho ipapisitswe le melao ya naha Lesotho, di tla etsuwa ho ipapisitswe le melao ya matjhaba, di tla etsuwa ho ipapisitswe le melao e re laolang kwano kontinenteng, African Union kapo SADC. Phuthehong e fetileng ha matona a tswang South Africa le teng, re buile le mphato wa heso ka sona sephetho sena. Mme le ena a bontsha hore re tlameha ho tshwarana ka matsoho, re thusane hore ha e sephetho se tswile tjena jwale re mothating wa bobedi e leng ke naha South Africa le metswalle meng ya Lesotho re ntse re ba bontshitse hore sephetho ke sena se tswile, mme le bona ba ntse ba bontshitse hore ba ka tseba hore ba re thuse. Ka hona lekgotla la matona le theile komitjana e tla tseba ho thusa lekala lena la Communication Science and Technology le ho thusa sekolo se phahameng hore re ye pele. Se seholo sa Lesotho hore re ye pele ke letona la Justice, ke letona la Education, ke letona la Finance, le la Tourism, le la meralo e meholo, le letona la Defense. Ka bokgutshwanyane ke a leboha. Ke phatlalatse ditaba tsena di monate hore re bone re shebeletse bolo maobane live, se re tla e shebella live ho ya ho ile a di bapalla Setsoto.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Rally wondered. Actually, this doesn't feel like a Monday. What a Monday. It's a good way to start a week. Amidst all that we are swimming in as NUL, when a Monday starts like this, you know everything will be smooth going forward. Ladies and gentlemen, members of the media, it is now question and answer time. By me, everything sounded clear. From what the Vice Chancellor said, to what the Dean of the Faculty of Science and Technology said, education, that's fine. To the very, very good news announced by the Honorable Minister. But because I know in some people's jobs you ask questions even when things are clear, for the job to go well, it is now your time, ladies and gentlemen of the media. I don't know who is ready with questions. We will identify you. I'm not sure whether we have a mic, a mobile mic, okay? A mic will be taken to you. I trust, as you normally do, you will indicate who you are and which media house you represent, so that we also get to know you, and then shoot with your question. We will take two or three questions and then get responses, and then maybe take another round. Remember, our target to finish was 12 o'clock. We will see if we can fit the question and answer session within the 30 minutes that are remaining. Even if it's clear, ask questions, it's your time. Which media houses are here, me? I was going to call them by names now. Thank you, sir, for starting them off.
Research fund. Yes, I where as a lot of evidence, Nelly was our one is a family road more than the so fair. I have some catalysis adding our people. Erikemoza that must well known. Don't how to do Yamapuna, China, Mapuna, support. If it happens, there's a research fund. Oda weza idamo ke kufe kama musu ikasa na kaso na kwa mkiana.
Is that a question or a response? We have only two questions. I said 2 to 3. Let's have a third question.
Exactly how, as shared by the Honorable Minister, what are the implications in terms of Lesotho through the university setting international standards or achieving international goals? Thank you very much.
Dean, I don't know the how long, whether it's yours or the researchers, or even if you know. But you can respond to that, and any other questions, then we will allow the Honorable Minister to respond to the one on the research I would request that you talk about the implications also before the minister can attempt. Because, no, you are the academics, you should tell us.
How long? That was in August, how long? Because scientifically, and the positive necessary within a month, results, but it took longer. Here, services are meant for the deal preclinical, meaning these are the popular, any judge, but it's on the coronavirus, eventually from Moderna, Obama and Logan therapy afford. And then from there, how Obama was judging their fallen, general capacity died, impact for safety, and eventually but Obama, COVID positive, but I have their way guiding in one institution, everything consent, control. This extract. World Health Organization, we have also to talk about the quantity, the number of people. For delay, it has to be many people to be proved beyond reasonable doubt. That will also depend on the institution more COVID positive, because as I said, so it depends on the institution that will help us to run those clinical tests as well. Yeah,
on that day, the minister Anika and all the resources. 6 to 12 months. Empa ya ukusisa ba Basotho ba tatile. Mugana go tloba lwana o tlo fapana le di ende tsena tsontse bua ka tsona, because mona ha re bui ka ntho e o thibelang ha ona le yona tsatsing lena. Supposing today COVID positive, go fa moriana ka moga matsatsi a magago o ya mosebetsing. So ke yona thwe re mka moriana ona rona ona paetse haholo. So la re ka dia mohlomong ka 6 to 12 months, but ra tseba this coronavirus it's not going anywhere. So until then rona re tla dula ntse re na le moriana o sebetsang.
Pele re fumana karabo eng bua Sesotholeng re hopoleng hore ka ha batho bana ba ka mona kaofela ba tseba Sesotho le Sekgowa, re bile re kopane le ba tsebang Sekgowa ba sa tsebe Sesotho, re tsitse ho Senyesemane Sesotho re se qathele hobane bohle kaofela ka mona le ba ntseng ba botsa dipotso ba tla tseba ho fetolela dipolelo tseo tsa Senyesemane. I'm saying, since all of us in here can speak and understand both English and Sesotho, and that we also have people who speak only English and other languages, not Sesotho, let us attempt to elaborate our responses in English, because all of us here can be able to translate and interpret in Sesotho where necessary. I know it is not a big deal. They are both official languages, but I think because of the nature of the institution, English is more convenient for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary. But I think my colleagues have addressed the issue of the preclinical and clinical trial timelines within 6 to 12 months, provided there is enough support to get the tests through. And in the number of how many tests are to be conducted, I think they already mentioned that you need a lot of people to make sure that it's not just a fluke and it has to be in a controlled environment. On the implications to the university, I think in my presentation I talked about University 3.0 status, where we normally teach research and undertake community service. But we aspire to go to University 5.0, where we do those three and also engage in innovation and commercialization like the MITs of the United States. So the implication is that if we do succeed, basically we'll be elevating ourselves up there with the best institutions in the world. I think that's all I can say. I think for the research fund, which I'm very much eager of, I'll leave to the minister.
Sanitize the mic and bring it up here.
Well, let me respond by saying that the science and technology policy for Lesotho it's a little bit outdated. As you know, that technology it is moving so fast, and we need to review that science and technology policy, which will be reviewed before the new financial year. Inside the science and technology bill, there is innovation and science fund. But to review the policy so that we can be able to have that fund does not say that we cannot start negotiating with Minister of Finance and the people that are responsible to say we need this fund before the new financial year. We'll be having our policy on board. It is very important again to note that we are discussing this innovation fund in two strategies. One is the government one, but we need also to discuss with and to understand each other with the National University of Lesotho. If some donors or development partners can be able to assist us after a formal request to the administration of National University of Lesotho, especially the Innovation Hub, to say, in the meantime, establish such a fund that the private sector of this country, the development partners, even us as government, can start to contribute and put some financial support to the initiative. We have already done that. That's why 2 countries under the UN Technology Bank, which is Mauritius and Lesotho, have been earmarked to support science and technology. And hopefully, Ndate Musito, the Dean, can benefit from that initiative. And that will be formalized by the Department of Science and Technology through the ministry to let you know that Lesotho and Mauritius has been selected to support innovation and research. it is very important, lastly, to note that to say, yes, there is an issue of Lesotho. Everybody wants things to happen as quickly as they can. But we need to protect these results. We need to find a legal way across the world to protect these findings. The world is under stress, the economy is under stress because of COVID-19. We have lost our friends, we have lost our nation, and we must not make mistakes along the way. So we need a very tight, with all the quality that we can enhance across the country, action plan. We know that there are certain behaviors that as people we can start squabbling and say, it is my innovation, it is my work. Now, that thing which is called chelete, mali, money, can mess up the whole program. So let us be ourselves, let us hold hands. It's for the benefit of the country. You will benefit, but most important is that it is going to be a drug. So if you say 6 months to 12 months for Lesotho to get a drug, we need also to agree it is very important that we need to have our own institution. So for us to go back to South Africa and say, here's another, test it. It's high time that in our budget, in our strategic plan, we'll share it with you and with the press here, that I'm not talking things from my head. They come from the strategic plan. It is high time that we have Center for Center
Council for Scientific and Industrial Research.
Yes. Scientific and Industrial Research of Lesotho. So that's part of our strategic plan. Because now, and switch off your mic, Tesile, and switch off your phone. What I'm going to say, it is something that people in this room must understand it. It's a product that comes from Lesotho. It does not come from any country. So we need to hold hands. The whole world will be coming to a small country to say, go that direction. That's why our strategic plan, which I will be signing, and you'll be the first one to have a copy in Tatomosito, so that you can share it with your Faculty of Science and Technology to understand that this is what I said today, that we need to have our own research institution so that we can be able to give other countries services, including our young innovators, including our young scientists, which are still coming. I think I tried to respond to where are we going we are going that direction. We're not going to a wrong direction. Hopefully, we should be very patriotic. We should love our country, put Lesotho first. Then we'll be able to go where other nations are leading on the science and research platforms. I thank you.
We can take another round of questions. I see a hand and another, they are warming up.
My name is Tabelo Mwabi from the Department of Physics and Electronics Radio Station at the National University of Lesotho. And my question is, after the drug compound has been tested on rats, what is the criteria that is going to be used for the compound to be tested on humans who are positive with COVID-19?
And when and at which stage it is going to feature in, especially if we are thinking of holding clinical trials. I would want to know how the Ministry of Health is going to be engaged and involved in the whole process. I did hear a mention of partners. I've heard of WHO, and I think with that in mind, I wouldn't want to assume that then we would have other key partners such as your United Nations bodies, etc., etc. Thank you very much.
I'm the head of the Department of Mathematics and Computer Science here at NUL. Okay, from the keynote address by the Honorable Minister and the response that he gave to some of the questions regarding protecting this knowledge, are we not slow in protecting it? If I heard well, haven't we protected it already? Because we are aware of some countries that have been accused of stealing information from the other countries in developing the vaccines. Are we not going to be victims also of that? Thank you very much.
At the moment, I think we are on the right track. Ministry of Defense, the part of national security on the project, including the members of the media. They must understand that let us not distort the message, because we can land up in a part of mud, let me put it that way. If we don't commit, or maybe the second time or the third time, Lesotho has been put inside the eyes of the world. I must know when the communication is needed. I know the media is. You cannot go to any country and say, what have you used in this vaccine? They'll never give you what they've used in that vaccine. So we need to be adults. We need to understand what are we dealing with here. It is very important, again, to say, yes, maybe Minister of Health, but you must understand that even the world can also contribute to say, we have 40 patients here, or we have more rats than you have in Lesotho. Yes. So we need to be careful of even mentioning before that this is going to be done by South Africa. I haven't yet reached that point, but we have agreed that we can work together. But they must remember that I'm holding a flag of Lesotho, they're holding the South African flag. That's why there is a need for us to have our own institution. Because the intellectual capacity, it's here. We have it. Some of them are even working in South Africa. That needs to be brought back to Lesotho. So there is a need for us to give confidentiality in the whole program going forward. Even to protect. I'm not wasting your time, Meg.
No, you're not.
A beer called Maluti. A lot of beer drinkers, a lot of them across the world, they want to take that away from us. Because now I grew up with the person who developed that, what do you call it in a scientific way? That product called Maluti. The late Mempoko. The whole world, the Chinese, everybody was asking her, can you give us? And she said, no, it belongs to Lesotho. SAB was offering her lots and lots of money. May her soul rest in peace, because she was so patriotic to this country. We'll be having the second Maluti in Swaziland, second Maluti in South Africa. She refused lots and lots of shillings. Thank you.
Is there anything else that you want to say?
The issue of the criteria that will be used to select people who partake in the clinical trials is usually on a voluntary basis, where people want to be engaged in that. We don't force people, but people who are ready, who are positive, and who want to be used for that research. And then they give their consent. One other thing is, under NUL Innovation Hub as well, to address the last question from Professor Mulati. Under NUL Innovation Hub, where the program or the project is operating under, we have IP policy as well, which is already protected, but we are so advanced in terms of protecting this knowledge so that it's not taken away from us. Thank you very much.
Will this be affordable for every Musotho in Lesotho? I mean, someone may say, if this was taken to labs, probably things used in labs are very expensive. Will this benefit every Musotho in the country? Even
you want the price?
No. Will this be affordable? Can each Musotho, even if, well, what I'm trying to say.
What is affordable to you?
Once it's.
Okay. We have a lot of teachers and lecturers in here. We have a lot of questions like that. Do respond. You must be able to respond.
I was asked the same question when I was on TV in August after we received the toxicity results. And and I was asked, when the process is done, will this be affordable? Will it be accessible to everybody? Then I said, the HIV issue. People were asking initially, will that be accessible and affordable? And the government now subsidized that. In the same manner, remember these products when they were taken to Pretoria, the testing cost it was 100,000, and I didn't have it. But the government of Lesotho through the ministry supported that testing. So in the same manner, this is not our product. At this stage, it is the government of Lesotho's product. And they are going to make sure through the minister and through the TVC, I know you work together to make sure that this project doesn't just end here. A lot of money is going to be needed. But I believe when we have reached the drug development stage, then through the subsidy of the government, like in the HIV case, it will be made accessible to Lesotho. Because my teammates, this is not about us getting rich or getting money. It is about the poor Lesotho down there who has nothing but in the work. So it should be affordable to everybody once everything is done. It's not about making us rich. Thank you.
Just to add to affordability, and it is very important, again, the National Drug Organization, NDSO, it has a facility that was owned by Lesotho 100%, or even where drugs were made from that facility. So my understanding is that once the clinical trials has passed that, definitely in the shelves of NDSO, that drug will be placed there. Affordability in terms of money or in terms of access, Lesotho will have it next door. So they can go to the streets of pharmaceutical companies in Nigeria, but coming out of a country called Lesotho. So it is going to open up doors in the pharmaceutical economy, that this is a product that is coming from Lesotho, the whole world, but it must be protected, that it is access. You can easily get it in your own country. You don't have to cross to Ladybrand. You must get it in Mafeking, at National University of Lesotho, if there is a clinic here, St. Joseph's Hospital. Yes. In terms of requesting subsidy to the government, that's where the Minister of Health will be on board to say, let us subsidize this drug. Now, people from the economy, people from finance will support that, but we can discuss about that. So everything is possible, because it is a Lesotho product. It will be done in Lesotho by Lesotho researchers. Madam Sito, I'm very sorry again. Now I apologize when I made mistakes. I was supposed to announce that Professor Pandi from America will donate 2 bioreactors worth of $200,000 to the National University of Lesotho. And that will be communicated with the Dean and to you formally. We are working on that, but he has already pledged that.
Like I said, this is a beautiful Monday. I wish I was not as a cow. And being a Monday. Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of this day's press conference, and we hope we will see it and hear it on the news today. We are now, it is still 12, we still have an hour before. Yes, it is still 12, just a few minutes after. We still have an hour before we break, so we go back to our normal business going out of here. Thank you very much. Smile the camera.